Hi, today we're going to practice doing some long division, and we're going to use the standard algorithm, kind of using the family as our steps. So our first step is to divide. So we remember daddy divide. Second step is to multiply, mommy multiply. Then we have sister subtract, brother bring down, and then rover remainder or repeat. So let's follow those steps to do our first division, long division problem. So here I have 405 divided by 5. So it's always going to be the division problem will be the larger number divided by the smaller number, and the answer is always going to go on top. That goes for all the division problems that we're going to see throughout this process. So first we're going to take a look, and I want to divide something by 5. So 4 divided by 5 would be the first thing I look at. But since 4 is smaller than 5, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to have to move over to the next digit, where I have a 0. So I have 40 divided by 5. And I can do that. Even if it doesn't go in evenly, I know that 40 is a larger number than 5. So I think my first step is daddy divide. 40 divided by 5. I do know that 40 divided by 5 is 8. So I'm going to write my 8 right up here. And notice that I keep it right above the 0 in 40. That's because it's 40 divided by 5 and not just 4 divided by 5. My next step is mommy multiply. So multiplication, I'm going to say 8 times 5, and I'm going to write the answer to my multiplication problem below. My next step is sister subtract. So I'm going to subtract the answer from my multiplication problem. After that, I have brother bring down. I'm going to bring down this 5. And notice how I draw that arrow to show that I'm using that digit in that spot. And now I have rover, remainder or a repeat. So since I haven't hit the end of my number yet, haven't hit that decimal point, I'm going to keep on repeating. So I go back up to divide. Now I have 5 is the number that's underneath. So it's going to be 5 divided by 5, and the answer is 1. Notice that since this is an answer to a division problem, it's going to go up on top over here. Next is multiply. 1 times 5 is 5. I subtract, and I get a 0. Now, when I come to my rover, remainder, or repeat, there's nothing more to repeat. And in this case, I actually don't have a remainder. So I'm just going to put a little dot in the middle, and this is like my bullseye. This is telling me that I'm finished with my whole process here. So 405 divided by 5 is 81. The next problem that we come to is 776 divided by 8. So I take a look and I see, can I divide 7 by 8? No, 7's smaller than 8. But 77 is larger than 8. So what I want to do is I want to find out how many whole 8s can fit into 77. And I need to know the most number of 8s, most number of times 8 can go into 77. I think to myself, well, 10 times 8 is 80, but that's larger than 77. So then I think the next number down, which would be a 9. And 9 times 8 is actually 72. So I know that 8 can go into 77 9 times. All right, so that was my division. Next I go into multiplication. And I'd say 9 times 8, which is 72. Sister subtract, minus 72. 77 minus 72 is 5. Brother is going to bring down this 6. And then I do 56 minus 8, because I'm back up to divide here. 56 divided by 8, and that's going to be 7. Do multiply. 7 times 8 is 56. I subtract, and I end up with a 0. And since I won't have any remainder, I'm going to put my little bullseye in. And the last example we'll do together is 138 divided by 6. Again, I can't divide 1 by 6 because 1 is smaller than 6. 13, however, is larger than 6. So I want to think about how many whole times can 6 go into 13. And 6 can go into 13 2 times. Next, I have the multiplication. So I do 2 times 6, and I get 12. My subtraction is next. 13 minus 12 is 1. Bring down is our next step. I bring down the 8. And I have 18, and now we need to do division all over again because I'm doing my repeat. 18 divided by 6. I know that 18 divided by 6 is 3. And I say, go into multiplication. 3 times 6 is 18. Subtract. And I end up with no remainder again. So I put my bullseye in just so I know that I'm finished. Tonight's homework might be a little bit tricky. And it's important that we just kind of think about how we're going to go through those steps and practice going through those steps. The more we practice, the more it's going to help out. So just remember our order of daddy, mommy, sister, brother, rover. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, and remainder or repeat.